Hi, I'm Bob Grip, and I'm a news anchor. Let me tell you a little bit about what I do on a day-to-day basis. I usually get in about 12:30, 1 o'clock, work until 10 o'clock at night because I do two one-hour newscasts, one at 5 and one at 9 o'clock. The specific tasks really vary from day to day. I'm involved a lot in the writing. I proof scripts. I work on the web. I do a lot of web stuff, whether it's Twitter, Facebook, or doing stuff on our website, because that's a key component of what we do. Like I said, it start 12:30, 1 o'clock, take a break right after the 5 o'clock newscast for go home for supper, then come back, do the newscast. So I'm pretty much finished by about 10 o'clock at night. All right, thinking about stress levels, for example, anytime you're involved in a live broadcast, there's going to be a certain amount of stress. How you channel it is the important thing. But there certainly is stress when you're knowing that there are tens of thousands of people watching everything you do. And hopefully they're paying attention to what you're saying, but very often we find out people will comment on things like, I really like that suit, or where'd you get that tie? And you kind of wish they were listening more to what I was saying, but that's the way people watch television. But the stress level is something you have to deal with if you want to get into this kind of a job. Okay, let's think about education for a second. A lot of people will take a communications degree, a Bachelor of Arts, for example. I took that and a master's degree in journalism because I knew that I wanted to teach down the road, and I wound up teaching at Spring Hill College as well. But I think definitely a BA absolutely doesn't necessarily have to be in journalism or communications. It could be in English, something like that. Your English skills are going to be absolutely paramount. But if you want to start out, if you want to be an anchor, you have to really start out as a reporter, and that means you have to be sort of a specialist in a lot of different things. You have to know math, you have to know science, you have to know history, because you have to be able to put things in context when you're writing about them. And one day as a reporter you may be going up to the state capitol to cover the inauguration of the governor, so you better know the political players. The next day you may wind up going to the hospital, so you better know at least a little bit about medicine. And it just changes from day to day. So you really have to take a broad range of courses, and especially read as much as you can. Read periodicals, read newspapers, go to websites, find out all the information you can, because you never know when you're going to absolutely need it. So I'd say absolutely you need a BA for sure. If you want to get a master's, you can do that if you want to teach down the road, but it's not necessarily required. An internship is absolutely critical, because the way you get jobs in this industry very often is through networking, the people you wind up knowing. If you become an intern, you work hard, you show up on time, you do what you're supposed to do, you're inquisitive, people are going to remember that. So when there's an opening, are they going to go for an unknown quantity, or are they going to go for somebody who's been an intern, really sharp, really knows his or her stuff? So absolutely try an internship and do it as early as possible, because if you do an internship and find out, I really don't want to do this, then it's served its purpose anyway. So go ahead and do it. Skills, I mentioned, English composition would be good. If you're a little bit shy and you still want to be on camera, I'd suggest theater. Theater will help you open up some. Graphic arts has been a big thing. There are a lot of jobs behind the scenes. You don't necessarily have to be on camera to be working in multimedia. We used to say broadcasting, but now the web is so important. Graphic artist is important. A lot of reporters have to shoot and edit and report their own stuff, so you better have an eye for photography as well. So you have to be pretty well-rounded and be very versatile and very flexible. The best part of the job has to be that no 2 days are alike. Sure, the basic newscast is the same, but what goes into it, the content, changes from day to day to day. And sometimes it changes in the middle of the newscast. So to me, that's always gives me a lot of energy, because you never know what's going to happen. And hopefully that's why a lot of people watch too, is they want to see sort of like what happens during a live broadcast. And we try to make it as polished as possible. It's not always possible to be absolutely perfect, but we do our best to do that. I think the worst part is that sometimes in times of crisis, like for example a hurricane approaching the Gulf Coast, I'm here instead of taking care of my family, where you feel torn, like I'd love to be home making sure everything's safe, but I have to be here to do my job. And that's another thing when it comes to children growing up. I wasn't there to help with homework like I'd want to because I work at nights. So you have to kind of work around it, and you have to maintain that flexibility. And sometimes you have to work holidays when everybody else is off. And that's just part of the job. So if you want to work in television as a reporter or eventually an anchor, and you're in high school, for example, I'd work on the high school newspaper. If you have a television station, do that. Start thinking visually. Start making up stories, shooting stories, editing stories. It's so easy to do nowadays. If you have like an Apple, for example, you can shoot something and put it on iMovie and edit it. Get used to editing, getting used to thinking visually, get used to coming up with a lot of detail in stories, and write. Make your English teacher your best friend, because they want to help you. That's why they're there. But your writing is absolutely, it has to be critical. I can't tell you how many people here, when you see them come through the door and they want a job, you talk about active voice or passive voice or past tense and present tense, and they look at you like, what are you talking about? I mean, those are the tools you use in this particular field. Just like a carpenter wouldn't build a house with a broken saw or a broken hammer, our tools are our words, and we have to use them with precision. So be best friends with your English teacher. You should be great.